computer. Welcome to our Zoom. And actually, I just remember that I don't remember the name of our Zoom. What is it?
Oh my goodness. The joy of drama and how to get out of pain.
Yeah, I forgot about the drama. Interestingly enough.
How could you forget about drama in this particular reality where we're so like, that is the currency of this reality, the trauma and the drama. Otherwise, it just doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it's not serious enough. And I guess I'm trying to function or being outside this reality and function beyond that. What if it was a possibility? Can you imagine that?
That's the first thing that we've got to ask is what if that truly is possible? So what if the universe has our back? And what if, okay, so I'm going to backtrack. I'm in Guatemala and the earth's been shaking under our feet for the last little while in Central America. And I'm sure wherever you are in the world, you heard the earthquake in Mexico City just a few days ago. And also when our mutual friend was flying and landing in Mexico City, there was another really strong earthquake that we felt shaking for a long time here. It was in the southern part of Mexico. The thing is, we're alive on this amazing planet at this amazing time. And you know what? Life's going to hand us all sorts of things. It's going to shake. It's going to, show us all sorts of experiences. Contrast, some people call it. But that's where the mantra...
This reality has a polarity because it's either right and wrong, good and bad. It's pain or health, disease or health, or anything that can have two ends opposite to each other. The balancing act, even justice. Remember, like that justice?
Yeah, the whole concept of balance.
The balancing act, as I call it, on that tightrope of this reality. So,
wow, everything that is, and everywhere I just got this like, woo! Okay, we are using the tools of access consciousness, so we'll be using the clearing statement throughout. If you don't know about it, hop on to www.theclearingstatement.com. We're going to assume you already know it. So right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, podpoc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. How much judgment do we have to be able to get a sense of balance?
Yeah, and then
and that type
let's try and uncreate that, right, from good, bad, all nine, shorts, boys. Let's just explain for some people who are new to access, if there are some, that it is a vibrational frequency of words that clears any limitation, anything that's stuck, any energy that's not moving. And it's getting out of polarity, right and wrong, good and bad. Pak is point of creation, we're going back in time, and Pad is point of destruction. So each word has its own meaning. All nine has 9 layers of stuff, and you can, all the other details you can read on theclearingstatement.com.
And I will say, short speak, you can just say whatever those girls said in the class that I heard. And it's kind of like flushing an energetic toilet. Energy comes up and you're hitting the flush with that. So,
or magic wand. You wipe everything out of existence with that magic wand.
Yeah. It's actually quite brilliant. And it's so easy that it just, does it have meaning if it is so easy? In this life, it's got to be tough, right?
It has to be very significant and has definitions. Remember? We have to know the meaning of life.
And how mean are we to ourselves by putting so much stock into the meaning of life? And not only that, but trying to pick up on everybody else's meanings of life. How mean are we to ourselves with that?
Yeah, all of that, let's destroy and uncreate that. Right? All nine, shorts, boys, and beyond. And it always reminds me of that meaning of life. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe. Yeah, exactly. What if it's all like, and the computer was thinking for trillion years? So what if that was true? that there is no meaning of life, or the meaning of life is just to have fun.
You know how many fields of purpose, and I have to have my mission and my this and my that, rather than simply the joy of being. Exactly. And what if people would be willing to have that joy of being? What would be different?
And how much of trauma and drama just disappears with that? What if it was just like as easy as it sounds? Having fun and not have drama, not having pain.
The target is the having fun and the enjoying. That's the joy of being. And when the earth is moving under your feet and life is handing you lemons and whatever, you know, you have choices. You can sit there in a pile and complain and be really upset and, you know, kind of stand there helpless in the face of it, or go, awesome, look what I get to have with my tequila. Or I'm going to make lemonade, or lemon and honey tea sounds good right about now. There's so many different possibilities. We don't have to go to the pain and the suffering and the grief, although really that's what we've been shown. That's what we've been, I remember watching some series. I can't quite remember which series I watched with the kids. Oh, I think you were there. It was the fairy tale thing. And I was like, okay, this is boring after Once Upon a Fairy Tale. Hello, dear puppy.
Once Upon a Time, yeah.
Once Upon a Time, right. And it was like, okay, the first few episodes, the first couple of seasons, thank you, darling doggy. So much exuberance. There was such a sense of like fun in that and the interest in the story. And then after like episode 4 or 5, something, you know, around there, before the end of season 1, I was already bored. How much drama can people get themselves into? But the thing is that without that drama, if it doesn't bleed, it doesn't lead, they say in the news headlines. Mm-hmm. And without that drama, that show doesn't sell. There aren't people watching it because that's just too easy. Well,
exactly.
What if we'd be willing? Yeah.
What if life could be easy? And even with that trauma and drama, what if, because people say, oh, I have to laugh all the time. No, it's not about that. It's what if even grieving or the pain or the suffering could have some joy in that? And people say, what? How can you enjoy the grief? But it's not about truly looking at how significant it is, but just looking at what is in front of us. Yeah. There might be some loss there. There might be some death. And death is just the beginning for a lot of people, even in spiritual.
That's a big, you might stop there for a second and go into that a little bit more, because that's something that's very meaningful. I'm going to put that in quotes again for people, because we have so many connections with another particular body. Mm-hmm. So if you don't mind,
we are connected to the bodies. As a being, the being never dies. It goes from body to body to body, and it just enjoys what the body has to offer, including the pain. Remember Cervantes, the Don Quixote, when he woke up, he would check himself. Oh, I have pain here, I have pain here. Oh, it means I'm alive.
Wow, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. So everywhere we use pain as a point of reference for living.
Mm-hmm. Let's destroy
and for the perfection of life. Can we destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion?
Yes, right, wrong, good, bad, but all 9 shorts, boys and beyond. And everywhere we are creating life as the beginning of death and pain.
Oh, yeah.
Let's destroy and uncreate that.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good,
right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 podpoc shorts, boys and beyond.
And how much did we actually created pain as proof that we are alive, and creating the drama and trauma as part of that proof that life is exciting.
Yep.
Everything that is
that it's worth living somehow.
Yeah, because we are overcoming the obstacles.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah.
there is so much in the trauma and the meaning of trauma and drama and meaning of life that we look at each individual problem as that we're proof that we're powerful, that proof that we exist, proof that we deserve to exist.
Yeah, that we're worthy of existing if we can overcome our problems. That
Ooh,
you know, the struggle to prove that we are enough in dealing with whatever, rather than recognizing the miracle that we truly, truly are. And most people don't speak about that. And they don't see that.
No, because that's how we grew up. Life is tough. Everything has to be hard. We have to work hard.
So all the judgments, agendas, inventions, and lies that we're using to keep proving how tough life has to be, and that living is a struggle and a pain and a suffering, all of that. We destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion, please.
Right, wrong, with that.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Wow.
I actually have like one of the clearing that I come across and reference. What do you love about creating the reality of pain, suffering, trauma, and drama, and the no pain, no suffering, no trauma, and no drama, and the helplessness as the reality you call the reality of life, exactly as linearity and causality it is. Everything that is, let's just try and uncreate that.
Yeah. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Could you repeat that one, please? I saw something come through.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I just want to stop for a second and tell people this is your class or your Zoom that you can ask any questions you like.
Oh, please do.
Please
it's so much more fun.
Yeah. It's not about us talking and chatting and clearing. It's about you asking what works and doesn't work with trauma and drama and pain in your life.
Yeah.
So what do you love about creating the reality of pain, suffering, trauma, and drama, and the no pain, no suffering, no trauma, no drama, and helplessness as a reality you call the reality of life, exactly as linearity and causality it is. Everything that is, let's destroy and uncreate that.
Yep.
Right,
wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyond. Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
This is Beata. You're talking about this drama, and I have a twins daughters, they're 9, and they always in the drama. And
I have a 10-year-old. It's the same. I think it's an age thing.
and sometimes I use their access tools, and I try to do whatever I can do. But sometimes I'm just stuck. What I can do more, I do ask the question. I do go to just be the energy they required at the time.
What about the energy you require?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes I can turn bitch on really, really loudly when it's required. And I can get very intense when it's required. And I drop it like that. I don't buy into like stepping into the emotion and then doing that whole guilt and shame. And no, if it's required for me to give a strong shout or to say something really quiet or whatever it is,
or icy cold,
what's required for, or icy cold, or just walking away, what's required for you at that moment that's going to shift that energy too.
So everywhere where you decided that you have to do it for other people, trying to please them or give them what they require, instead of actually nurturing you, will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yes, please.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
There's a saying, I don't know if it came from Yiddish or whatever, but my mother would always say it, something about when the mother's happy, everybody's happy, right?
Yeah.
So when you take care of you, it doesn't exclude them. It invites them into that expanded space of joy. Okay, so this is actually something really big. The concept of space versus contraction is usually when we go into trauma and drama and upset and frustration or pain and intensity, we tend to contract. Okay, even if you try to act out someone who's in pain, or someone who's crying, notice how your body will go into a contraction. Well, the thing is, we're energetic beings, right? And we perceive one another's and everything else's vibration around us. We can contract or we can expand and be a space that's so large that it literally dissolves and liquefies and melts any of that resistance. So rather than that,
let's do that,
okay.
Because talking about that, a lot of times people's like, what is that? They have no idea about what space is. So why don't everybody close their eyes for a second and just see where is the edges of your body as well as edges of your being or your consciousness. Where are you? Are you in your head? Are you in your heart? And from that space, start expanding without leaving your body. Just maybe expand like a ball and just try to see where your thoughts, feelings, and emotions are, if they are inside or outside your body or your head. And just keep expanding. Expand even more, maybe about, if you're in Europe, a meter, or maybe about a few feet away from your body. And just keep expanding up, down, sideways, back, front. And just keep expanding as a ball of energy. Maybe a mile or a kilometer, 2 miles, 10 miles, 100 miles. And keep expanding. Make yourself as big as the whole city you're in, now even bigger, 1,000 miles, 100,000 miles. Make yourself as big as the whole earth. And keep expanding into space. Make yourself as big as the solar system. And now expand into the universe and make yourself bigger than the universe, into infinity. And if there are any barriers that interfere, just drop them. And keep expanding even more. And now, without contracting, bring your attention back into your body and see if there is anything that needs to shift or change. And expand that throughout the whole universe. And now from that space of infinity, look at what you have in your life, at your life in general. How big your problems are right now from that space of infinity.
Do they even exist?
Exactly. Or they look like those little pinheads, like people from when you're looking from the top of the tall building, like Sears Tower or Eiffel Tower or any other big buildings in the world.
That's actually the space we truly be.
Mm-hmm.
And the more we be that space, rather than trying to contract ourselves into our bodies, and maybe even smaller than that by contracting physically, we can invite so much more into our lives. When you're being that space, Beata, it's going to dissipate.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that with my kids whenever I remember to use the tool. See, this is another thing. It's use the tools, Luke. Use the force. The force is with you. Use the tools. The tools are with you. You just got to use them. We all have moments when our head goes up our butt, essentially. And the more I've used these tools over the last few years, the less my head's been up there, and life smells a whole lot better when my head's not up my butt. And so that's the gift of using the tools and recognizing, oh goodness, I could be space. I could be who I truly be. If I were truly being me, how is this going to change? What other possibility could they be invited to?
And also, how much are you using those tools against you? Because I heard you say that I want to be the energy, what they require. How much is it using against you for them? Instead from the space of kingdom of we is when we include ourselves into the equation. Instead,
so it's not either or.
It's both.
And
more and more and more and more. Create more into the infinity instead of contraction of what they require or what is required here in that moment. Look at the bigger picture. Look at you. Who are you? What are you? Where you are in the moment. And as Rachel was saying, if you need to yell and scream and just be a bitch, so be it.
It works.
It works.
And you don't buy that as that's the only thing you are. You're an infinite being. So you have all these different possibilities. And you have a huge menu of possible like ways of being and acting. Yes, you can be a bitch. You can be an asshole. You can be really kind. You can be really sweet. You can be anything, right? There's nothing that we haven't been or done in one lifetime or another. So we have all of these like capacities and skills. And a lot of times when we're perceiving intensities or quote unquote pains in our bodies, in our lives, etc., what capacity do I have to change this that I'm not tapping into?
Yeah, and anything that doesn't allow that, fucking thought that. The other thing I was going to say is with the capacities, we are so entrained by this reality or by spirituality that we have to be nice. We have to be kind. We have to take care of people, be caring, be sweet. But is that actually true? Because consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. We forget that. We are looking at people describing saints as like the enlightenment. To be saintly is to be kind and to be nice and to be sweet. They forget that we are all of it. We are the bitch, we are the asshole and the kind and the nice. And creating some image or persona that is only kind is cutting off our capacities, is cutting off ourselves and our being to the point of we become non-existent.
Yep.
And that's where the pain and suffering and trauma and drama comes in, because there is a conflict between who we truly are and what we pretend to be or what we decided we have to be.
Or we were told we had to be a particular way. Annabeth, I know you're excited. They're big birds. I get that. That's the thing. That's part of this. Is actually quite funny to watch too. There's these big raptors flying around, and Annabeth Annabeth the dog is letting them know that this is her balcony and she's going to defend it.
Yeah, and that's exactly
with all her
what
glory.
we refuse. And how often do we refuse to defend our balcony? How often do we refuse to defend our territory or what is actually ours and what is there that we need to be? Even to
it's that
ourselves.
intensity of living. It's that intensity of the joy of living and being willing to be exuberantly, and it doesn't mean manically, right? Exuberantly could also be peacefully, joyfully, cool and calm and collected, but there's a sense of this peace. It doesn't have to be like all the time. That does not necessarily mean happy or joyful. Joy can be very, very peaceful. And it's that willing to be that, whatever it looks like, whatever it takes, however way it is, without cutting any of you off to please anybody else. Now, if that means that if somebody's doing really depressed all the time, Maybe you choose not to be around them a bit. I know,
or
for example,
when people are abusing you, when people are mean and vicious to you, that doesn't mean you have to be kind to them and be around them. It's about shifting your life, shifting your perspective, shifting your points of view, but it also requires action. A lot of times we need to step away, not necessarily cutting people off, but being what's necessary for us, for our body, what's nurturing, what will create more joy, peace, calm, and fun. We forget about having fun. And again, it's not that maniac fun that they show on TV. A lot of times it's just contemplating somewhere in the nature or reading a book. Just being with what is true for you.
Yeah. And including you in your life.
And people are asking to do the clearing again. So what do you love about creating the reality of pain, suffering, trauma, and drama, and the no pain, no suffering, no drama, no trauma, and helplessness as the reality you call the reality of life, exactly as the linearity and concentricity it is. Everything that is, let's just try and uncreate that.
Oh yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 podpoc shorts, boys and beyonds. What do you love about creating, this is also from the reference materials, what do you love about creating the reality of you with, it's all about me, trauma, drama, anger, rage, fury, self-loathing, self-hatred, I don't have it yet, I can't ever get it, totally escapes me, I don't exist, I need to be acknowledged, desired, loved, accepted, projections, expectations, separations, judgments, rejections, blame, shame, ridicule, regret, humiliation, pain, suffering, total denial, and refusal of everything as the reality you call the reality of life, exactly as the linearity and concentricity it is.
Oof. Everything that is, let's destroy and uncreate.
Times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 podpoc shorts, boys and beyonds.
So everywhere where you decide that pain and suffering is the only way to live in this reality, the only way to function in this reality, the only and perfect way to live in this reality, will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, but all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And
it's like that Cervantes thing that you mentioned, that Don Quixote. If you didn't have your problems, who would you be? What would you do? What would you create if you didn't have to worry about those things that you're worrying about now, or you didn't have to literally have that distraction as the only thing that you're using in your, as meaningful in your life, that thing that's the impetus that keeps you going. If you didn't have that, what would that create? What would you create? What would be different?
Everything that is, and everything that doesn't allow that, let's destroy and uncreate that. Right, but online short business. And how many definitions do we have about that? Because immediately when you asked that question, I said, oh, I might be bored. And how many people are afraid of boredom if they don't have the problem or trauma and drama in their lives? And they start creating it. I know myself, even like a few years ago before Access, I used to do that. I used to, if there was no trauma and drama, I would create that somehow. So everywhere where we're creating the trauma and drama to get out of the boredom or not to face ourselves, that's another thing. How many people are actually afraid to look at who they are? And it's like, and it's not about even the problem or the evil that they think they are. It's more about the light. It's more about the greatness they are. They're afraid to step into that potency, into who they are. Even Marianne Williams, if you remember.
Yeah, I can't remember the way that quote goes.
Yeah, but it was about like
our biggest fear. Our biggest fear is stepping into our greatness, is shining as who we truly are. I can't remember what it is exactly, but it's fantastic.
I used to have that on the refrigerator. So everywhere where we're afraid of our greatness, let's just try and uncreate that.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good,
bad, boys and beyonds. And everywhere we're not sure we would be accepted for our greatness. Everywhere we're making a value on being accepted, and
or fit into this reality. You know, because people who don't have the problems or don't have pain or trauma and drama, they're so different that people look at them like they're aliens. They don't want to deal with them. I remember going
almost unrelatable.
I remember going to a workshop or a networking event, and I was laughing. I was joyful. I was just being me, and somebody looked at me and says, "What's your problem? Why are you so happy?
Why are you so happy? That's not allowed."
Not in this reality. This reality is supposed to be sad and down and depressed. And how many people cannot even live with that? They commit suicide. We had the suicide prevention a couple of weeks ago. And we were running bars for people to clear all those fears, all those things. And what's interesting, I did a radio show inviting people to this event, and I had only 3 or 4 that actually came in.
Wow.
We are so entrained that it is impossibility to get out of the trauma and drama and pain.
And that's what I love about the English language. When you say a word like impossible, it holds the key right in it. If you just take a little space, if you just take a little moment, you take a little breather, you put a little space in there, you see, I'm possible. Literally with that space that we were speaking about. If as soon as we're willing to have and be space, it invites possibilities into that you wouldn't have noticed when you're so contracted and so frustrated and perceiving yourself as so stuck.
Breakable. How easily things that's contracted are easily breakable. Think of the air like the vapor, like water. When it's solid in the ice stage, it's so fragile. When it's water, it's already fluid. It's already expanded to a certain extent. It still can be destroyed. It can be kind of like poured in different vessels and make it smaller. But when it's vapor in the air, nothing can touch it. It's just space. And molecules vibrate at a much higher frequency because they are space. So we can function at a different speed. Different speed, different everything. We can be so much more when we expand. When we give up our limitations, the boundaries, as we talk about. How many boundaries we create? How many boundaries are actually trauma and drama that we created to keep us stuck in that small space? Because when we have trauma and drama, we are contracted, so we create that boundaries and the protection. So everything that is, will you destroy and create that and give them up? Right,
wrong, good, bad, all 9, quad, poc, shorts, boys and beyond. And everywhere we get angry, when we're in those kinds of situations with all these, the trauma and drama, it's a lot of times that anger is a potency that we're refusing, is we're picking up on a lie. It doesn't have to be like that. And then we go into a sense of reaction, which we do with whenever we perceive that there's a lie, anger comes up. That's a very
that's a potency.
That's a potency. You know, something here can change, and you can change it. And rather than putting band-aids on things and playing fix it, what if you would choose something different?
Exactly. And we actually have a question there. We have a question. What is about creating what I want instead of creating limitations? And that's exactly what we're talking about. When we give up the limitation, when we expand and give up the limitation, being the infinite being, we start creating from that space of possibilities instead of limitation. And actually what's interesting, when we use the word want, it's again, it's another tool of access where we're looking at the vibration of the words, because want means lack. So what if we could create more of what we desire? Because want is 26 definition and 25 of them is lack and only one desire. So what if we created out of possibilities instead of the limitations? So anything that doesn't allow that, let's destroy and uncreate that.
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pak, on 9 shorts with me. And somebody asked me about
another thing. Sorry, one more thing that I would do is, you know, when you get up in the morning, or really any time of day that you catch yourself, just go, okay, everything that I've created up to this very moment, everywhere that I've, you know, defined myself or limited myself, everything that I've, because we create our life and living, even if we'd like to perceive ourselves as victims for a while, technically we've created everything. So if we've created it, we can also, that's the cool thing, destroy and uncreate it. So everything that I've created up to this very moment, I now destroy and uncreate it all. And now, what else is possible I haven't considered? So whatever was a limitation, awesome. Every day, whatever I've limited myself by, whatever I've created up to this very moment, whatever story that I've bought, whatever way I've entrained myself to other people's decisions about what my life should be like, or what is possible and what isn't, pock and pot it all, destroy and uncreate it all. You let go of whatever that history was, and now what can you create for the future? What else is possible? And if you didn't solidify something and make it so real by saying, oh, this is terrible, and oh, this is terrible, and yes, there are, like we said before, life hands people lemons, right? There are things that occur that may not be so pleasant. And if we didn't go into the how terrible this is, if we look at it as what is, okay, so what else is possible here? And what contribution could I be? What change could be created here? What capacity?
What's interesting, you're talking about that, but there is also people a lot of times concentrate. It's like, okay, if I destroy everything, there is a good thing that I might destroy. That works for me.
That's brilliant, Helen.
And there is so much more. What's interesting with clearing statement, it destroys the lies. That's the only thing it will destroy. Because if it's real, it will be there. You cannot destroy and uncreate anything that's true and real.
Yep.
And with the lies, because trauma and drama is a lie. No matter what it is, it's a lie. And I always remember when my ex-husband died and my daughter was going through the grief, she was going through the grieving process a little different because we had the access tools. And she would have moments when she was grieving and missing her dad. And then there were moments when we were laughing. It's all were part of that bigger picture of where is a lie, where is the truth. So everywhere where you misidentified, misapply drama and trauma as the truth and the significance and the reality of your life, instead of the lies and limitations and everything that you've created to limit you, will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pak, pat, on 9 shorts with means. What did you make so vital, valuable, and real about trauma and drama, keeping yourself small and insignificant in the view of your potency and power that you're denying yourself?
Yep.
Everything that is, will destroy and uncreate that?
Oh, yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pak, pat, on 9 shorts with means. And everywhere where you're misidentifying, misapplying truth as a lie and lie as a truth, because a lot of times we were taught as kids that suffering is part of life. Part of the church and temples and all the religion teaching is that you're supposed to suffer in life.
Yeah, that's your lot. That's your main portion, essentially. And all the other stuff could be little side dishes or desserts or hors d'oeuvres. But your main lot in life is
suffering
and suffering.
And atonement for the sins. Everybody loves that.
Yeah, all right.
And the primary sin and all of that. So will we give that up and destroy and uncreate that and return back to whoever gave it to us?
Yeah. Generously.
Generously, yes. With the consciousness attached. Right, wrong, good, bad, back, bottom, nine, short, business. And everywhere we're unwilling to see what is possible beyond the trauma and drama, beyond the pain, beyond the suffering. Will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, back, bottom, nine, short, business. And everywhere
Go ahead.
Everywhere where you decided that trauma and drama is essential to your life, that there is no life without it, that if there is no trauma and drama, you cease to exist.
Yep.
Will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, back, bottom, nine, short, business. You were saying?
I was thinking about what you were saying, and a lot of people look at the only way to change something, and this also goes back to the Bars Free Clinic that was offered during the Suicide Awareness and Prevention Week. I guess it was a couple of weeks ago, feels like lifetimes ago.
Yeah.
But there's that if there isn't that pain and suffering, that if things don't get absolutely terrible, then change isn't something that we do. Change is only possible in this reality, right? When things are absolutely terrible or absolutely wrong. Rather than change is a constant. Change is how you live. Change is how a baby begins to grow and crawl and move and develop and grow. Change is growth, not change has to come from, horrific kinds of circumstances. So everywhere, that the only way we can have change is if things are just, terribly gory and whatnot. We destroy and create all of that in favor of change is just who we be. And every moment and every 10 seconds, we can change something. Because we have that as a capacity.
Yes, absolutely. And remember, like they talk about the wheel of fortune, that it has to go down and it has to go up. What if
Says who?
That's reality. So what if we decided that we can change that? We can just stay at the top and just have fun and just be. And again, fun is, it was interesting because somebody told me, it's like, oh, I'll be bored if I just go to the beach and have fun. I'm like, well, who said fun is going and doing nothing? It's about being. It's about, like, for me, facilitating the class, like here, that's fun. That's light. That's joy. That's easy.
Yeah.
It's not about locking yourself up at home and doing nothing. And by the way, when I choose that, that's usually the most productive day of my life, because I stop doing the trauma and drama and going into that circle. Oh, I have to do something and I don't want to do something, but I have responsibility. When we get out of that trauma and drama, out of that circle, everything becomes so easy. How much energy are we wasting on thinking about the trauma and drama?
Yep.
And how much energy are we wasting on the being in that I have to do it, but I don't want to do it?
Oh, yeah. That's push me, pull me, that two-headed animal from, I think it was Chitty Bang Bang or something.
Right.
It's like whichever direction, there's this constant resistance.
Or cat dog, where they're going into different direction, either in that cartoon. We are wasting so much energy making ourselves do something we don't want to do, knowing we don't have to do it, knowing that it's not necessary, but deciding we have responsibility to do that. Will we give that up, destroy and uncreate that?
Oh, yeah.
Right, wrong, good, bad, back, bottom, nine-shorts, boys and beyonds. And everywhere where we decided that we have responsibility. And Gary talks about that responsibility is ability to respond. That's it.
It's not carrying the world on your shoulders, baby.
Yeah, it's not must. It's not have to. It's not required. It's just ability to respond. So everywhere where you misidentify you have to and must to as responsibility instead of ability to respond, will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bottom, nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And everywhere where you're making yourself do things that against you, that you've decided that you have to, because somebody else put you in that position and told you that it is your responsibility. Will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yep.
Right wrong with that, talk about online shorts business. How much of that creates trauma and drama in your life?
Oh, huge megatons. And
Yeah.
it's like the proof of being rather than just being is getting so wrapped up in all this. Well, I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this and I have to do this. And then we end up with a list of, I don't know, 40, 50 things on it of do. And if I don't do, then I get to judge myself to death, you know, of how terrible of a person I am because I'm not doing. And in the words of Bhagyalakshmi Murali, who's one of our friends in common, she always said to me, be always comes before do in the dictionary. And that's what we always forget. We forget to be, and we forget to just take that space, that moment, that pause, that stop and drop and be with something. Like, drop into ourselves for a moment. And hey, if I were truly being me, what would I choose right now? I could get resentful about, you know, washing the dishes if the kids have left me a sink full, or I could actually enjoy it and put on some music and dance and feel the soap on my hands as I'm washing the dishes and actually enjoy the moment rather than be in resistance to it, or just leave the dang dishes for another day. I feel like
you remind me of a joke about a millionaire going to, let's say, Jamaica, and seeing a guy on the beach who is unemployed and just dancing and having fun. So he's like, how can you do that? You have to work. He's like, why? He's like, look at me. I'm a millionaire. I've been working on my life. I've been earning the money. I've worked 24/7 for so many years. And now I can come here and enjoy myself and be on the beach and just enjoy life. The guy looks at him and says, yeah, but I'm doing that now, without going through all of those years of pain and suffering.
Yeah.
So
and not always looking for I have to complete this before I'm willing to be happy. I have to lose 5 pounds before I'm willing to be happy. I have to, get through whatever this commitment or this project or this family thing or whatever it is before I'm willing to be happy. What if we just choose now, in just for 10 seconds at a time, choose to be happy, and then what'll change?
Yeah, I like what you said about commitments. How many commitments do we have to create that trauma and drama and beyond? How many beyonds, and like beyond comprehension or beyond imagination we have in our lives that's actually been created by either us or actually a lot of times it's somebody else that gives us that commitment that we have to do, and then we go into that trauma and drama with that.
Yeah. So, well, we're aware of the projections they have on us or on how things, quote unquote, should be.
And then we project on ourselves how we should be.
Yep.
A lot of times we project on ourselves and create that, as I said, persona. That's not us, but creates that tension inside of us that we desire to do one thing, but that persona cannot do that because it's not appropriate to do for that person, especially like Beata, you were talking about with the kids. Yeah. Yelling at the kids is not appropriate in this reality, or at least it was.
No, sometimes it's so much fun.
Oh my God, it is. And I remember when my daughter was 5 years old, and she was totally denying me. And, the 5-year-old is like, I'm not doing that. I don't do. And I started yelling and screaming. And I had so much fun with that. She looked at me, she's like, Mom, you look funny. First of all, that dissipated that immediately.
Yeah.
Because I went into trauma and drama of her not doing what I wanted her to do, but she didn't. The child actually stepped away from that, looked at me and said, Mom, you look funny. So what if we looked at all the trauma and drama as funny?
Or as Beata put in the chat earlier, because I saw it flashing past for a moment, what if it was just an interesting point of view?
Yeah.
It's something that people can choose. It's one of the many possibilities on the menu. And wow, that's interesting that they're choosing that. Or wow, how funny. That must be really entertaining. What if we would, what if we would buy those little, little fake trophies that they sometimes have in little shops, or we could even
like
print out our
store.
own and give a certificate. Yeah, for, best performance, best performance in a melodrama given to, I don't know, my mother or, my favorite relative or whoever that is. Maybe something in the office. It would certainly change things a bit.
Or the biggest pain. Or you have the biggest and the most horrific pain in the world.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
How much
you would have to get some butt structures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the energy just changed when you just said, what if that will be just only point of view? It just
shift. Because a lot of it is just a contraction. Interesting point of view expands it beyond the horizon.
Because it doesn't have the solidity to it. Interesting point of view has no solidity whatsoever. It's not you buying something as real. It's not you aligning and agreeing with something and going, oh yes, you're right. And it's not you resisting it like, no, that's wrong. You shouldn't have that. It's just this, wow, that's an interesting point of view. And so now they're not stuck with it. They can choose something different.
And you still ask what's required there. Because a couple of days ago, when I was talking to someone, what I got was I needed to let them know that I align and agree with their drama. And I went into, oh my God, this is so horrible. It's so awful. That allowed them to look at that and shift. Because she said, oh, well, maybe it's not that bad.
Maybe I could choose something else. And that's another thing, especially when things are tough for ourselves or for someone else. Just what if we would just search for one other possibility? Yeah, breathe. Definitely breathe.
Breathe.
And then
and
again.
Be. And just be.
And then again.
And again. And again. And it's always going to change.
Yeah. If we find just one other possibility, just one other, then maybe there's one other after that. And then one other after that. And pretty soon, if you can find a couple of possibilities, you can find others. They may not be the ones that you would choose, but they are other possibilities. And most people, when they go into trauma and drama, they say they have no choice. And that's one of the greatest lies that we perpetrate on ourselves, is we always have choice.
Because
even not choosing is a choice.
By the way, not choosing is a choice.
Yeah.
Not having a choice is still a choice. It doesn't matter what we choose. And everywhere where we decided that our choices has to be the decisions and they are final and they have to be the right ones.
And forevermore.
And
you made your bed, you lie in it.
Let's destroy and uncreate that.
Yep.
What if a choice is just a choice?
And what if a choice isn't meaningful either? Yeah.
No,
nothing was significant or meaningful.
No.
And so how much fun can you have choosing then? For these 10 seconds, I'd like to get up and dance. For these 10 seconds, I'd like to, go out and have a cup of coffee. For these 10 seconds, I'd like to just kind of lay down. For these 10 seconds, I'd like to burp out loud and just have fun. Whatever. It makes no difference what it is. It's just a 10-second choice. So it's not right. It's not wrong. It just is.
Yeah.
And it keeps us living and present and moving forward.
Yesterday, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's like, okay, let's do something tonight. So we started looking, and we went to a theater. It was amazing. It was amazing performance. It was just a choice in that 10 seconds. when we were leaving, it was like, oh my God, that was such an amazing performance. We loved it. What a great choice. And we started talking about some people that, and we chose it literally in 10 seconds. We were scrolling down, okay, I want this. We were talking about people, how they might have chosen a performance like a weeks in advance and trying to make it right, to make it so it will be perfect performance for them in that perfect day.
Yep.
And when we were talking, she's like, okay, yeah, we chose it in 10 seconds. And okay, so even if we chose it not the good one, we walked away and we would have done something different.
Yeah.
So what if everything in our life was like that? Just choosing and then, okay, maybe that doesn't work, but choice creates awareness. So we chose it. We knew maybe not the brightest moment, chose something different.
Yeah.
So everywhere where we decided the choice is a decision and a judgment attached to it, let's just try and uncreate that.
Yeah, right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys and beyonds. Everywhere we stick our choices to us with super glue. And they are eternal and forever, amen. Destroy and uncreate all of that. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys and beyonds. Wow.
We are actually almost done. We are at 1 o'clock.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we're at 12:59 now, so a couple more minutes. We can, because we started 2 minutes late.
I love the new clearings from Gary and Dane that came out of the evil telecalls, altering. I can't even remember what it was. It was a red. Well worth it if you guys haven't gotten that telecall. But so the idea of judgments, agendas, and inventions and lies. I put that in the Facebook event page for this Zoom. It was just funny. What if this telecall, what if this Zoom, whatever you call it, is your get out of jail card? Get out of your judgments and agendas and inventions and lies that you're using all the time to keep you stuck in the mire of this reality rather than soaring into the joy and the possibility and the space that you truly be. So everywhere you're keeping yourself stuck in jail rather than knowing that using these tools at any moment, taking a moment to use them is your get out of jail free card. You destroy and uncreate it all.
Right, wrong, good, bad,
right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys and beyonds.
So everywhere where you are creating your life based on somebody else's limitations and realities, will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, poc, all nine, shorts, boys and beyonds.
I would encourage everyone who's watching this to find either a class or a practitioner of access or a class in the foundation class, which follows the bars class. There's a body process called Biomimetic mimicry. That is such a joy running on your body to have this process. It's a hands-on process. Run on your body. It unlocks you from all the places that you've been imitating other people's ways of being, especially those people that are so close to you, your relatives, your neighbors, the people that you've used as kind of the models and the guides of your life. So even where you've taken that into your body and into your being, there are ways of letting that go. And that's a really gentle, wonderfully delicious, relaxing way of releasing some of those points of view that are no longer serving you. And Helen, you're also facilitator of the 3-day body process class, and that's taught there as well. And there are individual body process facilitators that can teach that process also. I'd encourage you guys, if you've never had it run on you, go do it. Gary says to have it run at least 300 times. I haven't come close yet. Or more. I haven't come close yet. And the more my body's touched with that process, the more I enjoy it. You don't have to be a duplication of everything that you see around you. You don't have to be a product of this reality. You can create your own. And that's a gift that you have at any moment.
And you can also, like by running the clearing statement, by using who does it belong to, by using it's an interesting point of view, you can change expand. By the way, if you do every morning, if you do that exercise for about maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, how long did it take us on a call just to expand into space? See how much your life will be different. Using the tools of all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory, using different tools of access consciousness and creating a different reality. And you can also look on the website for Rachel and me to see what classes are coming up in your area, because we both teach all over the world. I'll be in Austin in about, less than 2 weeks. Facilitating individual body processes. I'll be doing MTVSS and anaphylactic shock, as well as...
I think you're going to be facilitating Akashic Records, which isn't access, but it's a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's still a lot of fun. And creating abundance with ease, introductory class, which will be also fun. And also in Israel will be a 3-day body class.
Yay! And you just came back from Guatemala here with a 3-day body class as well. That was absolutely yummy. And an Akashic Records class, which was super yummy as well.
That was super yummy.
And that's the thing, guys. There are tools available to you everywhere. If you say that you're in trauma and drama and life is miserable and horrible, you know,
that's what
you haven't opened your eyes yet. Yeah, to see what else is possible. Your point of view creates your reality. And yes, there's a lot of people that say, oh, everything's so expensive. The classes and access are so expensive, blah, blah, blah. Well, your point of view creates your reality. If there's something that you really would like to have, just choose it. Choose it.
And the money
comes. Be with it. Play with it. And the money comes. And different possibilities open up. You just have to actually ask and be curious. And there's so much on YouTube, on the Voice America channel, or if you go into your podcasts on your phone, sign up for Gary's and Dane's Access. Yeah, and accessconsciousness.tv has loads of free trailers. There's so much information out there. And listening to Gary and Dane and their radio shows always has me giggling. So, you know, for me, even if I'm stuck in traffic for 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours, like you and I were, for 3.5 hours getting Tatitlán. Yeah, we listen to things and we play. Exactly. We actually had fun. So would you be willing to add that little spice of fun to everything that you choose? What would change if you'd be willing to add a little more of that joy, a little more of that fun, and a little more of that curiosity and that wonder? Would it turn your life into an adventure? And who says adventures have to be tough? What if adventures are actually filled with joy?
And also, if you choose based on the fun, how much your life would be different. If you just chose just what's fun, what's joy for you, what's easy, instead of what's drama and drama, how much your life would change?
You'd be one hell of an enlightened being, I tell you, following that light side.
Yeah, and how much invitation can you be to a different reality? If you choose that?
That's huge. That's huge, Helen.
That's probably next call.
yeah, but and that's huge. That's huge because it's not that you may make other people feel uncomfortable around you. Yet that discomfort is a little wedgie that's in their world that shows them that something else is available, that they don't have to stay tuned on that one radio show of trauma, drama, and everything's tough. There are other channels available. There are other stations. There are other possibilities.
And
all they have to do is choose. Yeah.
Other games and plays and fun and ease and joy.
Yeah.
So anything that doesn't allow you to create reality beyond this reality, will you just try and uncreate that?
Oh, yes.
Right, wrong with that, Patel, 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And
what energy, space, and consciousness can we be to be the phenomenal, magnificent actualizers of a reality totally beyond this reality?
With total ease.
With total ease and joy and glory.
And anything doesn't allow that. Right,
Yep.
wrong, good, bad,
Poof,
bad,
right, wrong,
shorts,
good,
boys
bad,
and
all that,
beyonds.
bug, shorts, boys and beyonds. How much fun can we have with all of that?
Yeah, I wonder. Don't have that fun. Don't do it.
Not allowed, man. Not allowed. Nah, have it anyway. Prove us wrong. Yeah. So thank you guys for being here live with us.
Thank you. And for people who are listening later, have fun
thank
with
you
that.
for watching that too. Have fun. And yeah, just enjoy yourself.
And bye. See you next time.
Bye.